Hi, my name is Tunji Adebiyi. I'm a legal practitioner, an entrepreneur, and a family man. My journey as the CEO of Swish Couture started 2 years ago, officially 2 years ago. Unofficially, maybe like 11 years ago, when I was in Benidorm University as a law student. We normally wear black and white. And at a point, I was getting tired of the regular uniform, so I started adding, some little spice to it then, and people noticed and people liked it. So while I was studying law at Benidorm University, Okada, I started making clothes for my friends, and I think that was the genesis of my fashion house. Was known as Tunji Couture, because I just removed A from my name, which is Adetunji, and was Tunji Couture. So I was doing it, making some money and all, and I think that's how it started. But before then, when I was in King's College, I think my growth was rapid then, so I was quite tall, and the uniforms didn't fit properly. So my dad just told me one day that, okay, why don't you sew, to fit your body frame? And ever since then, the issue of sewing came up, and since then it has been something I like to do, and I like to just be different from others. So I think that was the genesis of my fashion house. Fashion industry has really created immensely a lot of opportunities for the Nigerian youth, because there's a lot of chain activities. Before you see a finished suit, of course, you get the material, you get the thread, you get the stay, you get all the materials needed to make a suit, and for each stage of a suit, there are always materials you have to use. So when you're selling materials, of course, as a seller, it's profitable because they bring in large quantities, in very large quantities. So most of the time, sometimes when we don't have materials at our shop, we buy from them. So it's profitable for them as well. Then the issue of the threads, the stay being used and all, that has also provided some cushion, to the economy. Also if I look at it in the fashion industry, even in the issue of marketing, I have Tosin. He doesn't know how to sew. He doesn't know how to buy materials. He doesn't know how to do anything, but he knows how to measure. So what he does is he takes measurements and he gets back to us, and we do the finished product and we give it back to him. So we have provided some means of income for him as well. Then when you look at the buttonhole, the stitching and all that, that's created also an avenue for people to do that. Because at the end of making a suit, you still take it to the buttonhole to get the buttonhole fixed to the suit. That's another arm of the fashion industry. And of course, they have a lot of machineries. Then you have repairers, people that repair the machines as well. So it's a chain. It's a moving chain that is evolving. It's really evolving, and now you have online fashion, you have stores that can, so it's really wide, and I think it's just for one to have a foresight to see, a problem in the fashion industry and take it up to take it up to solve, and thereby, of course, you add value and you get some money in return. But like I said, when I was in Benidorm, even when as a law student, I was involved in in fashion. And so I think it just grew up naturally with me. But when I found out that, okay, this hobby could earn me some cash, some money, when I add value to people, then I felt, okay, why don't I make it more formal and able to make some extra cash aside my my legal profession. So it could be challenging. It could be challenging, but I think I made some decisions when I wanted to go into fashion fully. Like the first decision I made was a couple of friends. We decided to do a partnership firm. Since I knew that I would be in and out, so to make sure I don't totally forget law, we invented that firm so that, okay, I can still rub minds and still be involved in law. So I still have my clients. I still I'm still, actually by God's grace, I'm 10 years right now at the bar. So I'm still involved in legal services. And so it was easy for me to switch to Swish. Secondly, I decided to do appointments. So my meetings are always on appointment, Excuse me. My meetings are always on appointment so that it doesn't clash when I have legal stuff to do. So I'm always available to receive any of my clients and all that. But when my schedule was becoming a little bit tighter, I decided to open a small outlet, so that even when I'm not around, there are always tailors 24/7, which each client can go take measurements. Then later at my own convenience, I'll go and see the client to have a one-on-one chat to know what the client wants. Effective as a lawyer and effective as a tailor. So I try and balance. Sometimes I get maybe when a client calls me and I'm in a meeting, with one of my legal clients, of course I can pick up. So eventually when I call back and say, I'm sorry, I was in a meeting with the client, and they'll say, we in Yoruba dialect, let's just decide which one you want to do. And I tell them, look, have I disappointed you in whatever services I've had? He said no. So if I have the ability to do the two, I think I should still do it. In my area of law practice, yes, I'm more of a corporate lawyer. I do litigations as well, but litigations now, I can't compete with litigation and fashion. So, like I said, we have a firm. So when I get a brief, which is litigation, I just take the brief and I give it to my colleagues, and that solves it. Every designer wants to sew locally and internationally, so the prayer is still on. My market is, by God's grace, it's a little bit wide. I sew just mainly for guys, because I noticed then that the fashion industry regarding the male folks were just normal, the shirt, the pants, the native attire, the buba, the agbada, and all, and that's just straight jacket, So the niche was for me, for men, So I'm more into men concerning my clientele. And then for how wide, I am, I've been privileged to sew within Nigeria, outside Nigeria, as far as Australia, and that's because of my key strategy, which is referral. By nature, I'm a private person, so I've not been able to get used to the social media, the Instagram, the Facebook, and, on and on, so, but I'm learning to do that because that's a big plus or leverage to Swish Couture. I'm working on that already, but as a private person, I decided to work on one-on-one basis with my clients, because for every client I have, they are my prospective adverts to the world. So I'm very, very particular about services rendered because they can make me, or mommy. So when I sold for someone, maybe like just a few weeks ago, I sold for someone that came from UK, and eventually he went back, and luckily he now traveled to Hong Kong, and they saw what I made for him, and they called me from there that, can I do this, and I said yes. I said okay, and I did that and sent back. So Swish Couture is in Hong Kong, so that's how it has been able to Swish Couture has been able to actually hit some corners of the world. I've done when I was still operating under Tunji Couture. I've done some shows on the Nigerian TV fashion show. I've done a couple of times, and fantastic applause. You share cards, you do everything, and I didn't really get one customer. Not even one. So I just sat down. I said, okay, look, what works for me? I'm blessed with a good stature, so I just said, okay, look, Tunji, I think you should just dress yourself up, be the model for everybody to see. And I started investing in myself. My goal is, when I walk past, you turn back, then you ask me, are you into fashion or are you a tailor? Then I'll answer. Then I'll, give you a little bit of myself, But not that I would come to meet you and say, okay, I'd like to make some clothes for you and all that. It has never happened. I just try to make sure that for each person I sew for, I make them feel better than they met me. Because for each value you had, you never know where the testimony will go to. So I'm very particular about the one-on-one relationship with my clients, because it is the key. It's the bedrock of Swish Couture, because that's what really makes Swish Couture known, by referrals. I like this. Who made it for you? Tunji. Isn't not the lawyer? He said yes. Are you serious? Okay, I'll give him a call. And I make the call, and from there I have referrals from different places, and they've kept Swish Couture going. That's it. I started tailoring. I think I noticed that I had this. I have a gift for detailing. Might not be clothes, might be any other thing. Even the smallest defect, I see them. So when my tailor, Mr. Olabi, I think that's the oldest I have, is my manager. I started up with him, and when he's sewing, I just sit down and I just look, and just not just being on the machine, but when I just tell him, look, can't it be done this way? Can't it be done this way? And he says, how did I know this? How did I say, well, I just feel it's better this way. So it's not like maybe I went on the machine, then I developed that flair. I will just stand and they will cut, and I'll say, look, I think we should make it maybe less an inch, or maybe we should add this color to it and all that. And eventually it comes out well. So that's how it started. Then he will call me, TJ, I want to do this. So what do we do? And that's how it started. Maybe because in my mind, I'm kind of artistic. I try to see things, in a different way. So it has helped me, and that was why when I put that into my black and white uniform, it was very revealing to my cosmate, because normally you just wear a white shirt and a black pants and that's it. But I added some twists to the shirts. They will have some stripes of black, still formal, but you will know that, okay, this is different. And so I took it up that way. Then maybe during the summer time, when vacations, I'll go to the shop and just sit down, try and sew some, learn on the machine and all. But I found out that sitting on the machine was a little bit boring for me. I don't know. I felt that, okay, maybe I should be able to, since designing comes easy for me, let me just do designing. When they are sewing or they are cutting, I try to make sure I'm there, so I see the little things before it becomes a whole piece. So I think that's how the tailoring business actually started. When growing up, when you hear, I want to give my tailor this outfit, and probably maybe they want to use the outfit for the 7th of June, you get them saying, okay, they want to use the outfit at maybe May 27th and all that, and they'll tell you because most tailors disappoint and all that, so a lot of people don't even sew, so while coming into the fashion industry, it was one of my core values, to gain the trust of my customers. When I tell them, look, okay, I'm giving 3 weeks for the suit to be ready, or this native attire to be ready, and 3 weeks, please come and pick it up, or you want us to send it via a dispatch rider. I try to make sure it's hard work, really. Make sure the time fits, and we try. Sometimes when we don't, I try to foresee beforehand, and I'll probably make a call and say, okay, this is what is happening, this is what is happening. And of course, when you place some value in front of your clients, you will understand that, okay, I think this guy is not taking me for granted, and and we have been able to pass that. So that's one of my key notes for Swish, that, okay, look, if this guy is doing this job, he won't disappoint, and God has been helping us with that. Then foremost is excellence. It's a key note for me. Excellence is the key. When you look around, maybe because of the economic situations and the way the country is at times, there's a lot of mediocrity around, and I just stand to be different on that. And so I try to make sure that if I'm charging a client 50K for a suit and all, and I'll want the client to see what he's paying for, the value of what he's paying for. Not that I just go and just pick up some stuff and assemble and just stash out. Yeah, money is key, but for me it's secondary, because the longevity of the business is key for me. I try to keep a client, for as long as Swish is standing. I don't do one-off clients that, okay, let me hit him, right, and eventually he goes. I try to keep a client. So my clientele, I can have clients for 8 years, 7, and they keep coming in. In fact, some of the time, when I meet clients and say, okay, they don't even ask me what have I done. They just tell me, look, Mr. Yusuf said, okay, when you say this is the time you deliver, you deliver. Can you do this? I said yes. Is it possible? I say yes. And eventually when I deliver, so it makes it easy for me, to do business. Yes, it's a lot of discipline, because I don't work alone, so, I have to constantly, flushing that value system to my workers to understand that, okay, this is what Swish Couture stands for, so, and I believe when you give excellence, it's clear, it's crystal clear, you can't hide it, people will see it, and they will get back. People want good stuff, so that has helped me. And just to they say when you stay within, you really don't know the onions of your business. So just to improve on the service of Swish Couture, I went to China, just to find out how it's being done, because of their the way they turn out clothes is remarkable. It's really remarkable, so I tried to see how they could turn out clothes in a short while, and of course still have relatively clean and affordable attire. So I went in, and of course they're very hardworking, and so I took in some advice from them. I went to their factories and all to see how things are being done and all, and also the materials. I went there to see how I could have my fabric, so that at least I'm guaranteed that, okay, when a client once walks into Swish, he's picking a very good fabric. Then I try to get contacts from there, Nigerian clothes merchants that buy from them, so that I can know that, okay, this place, they sell good stuff there. So, and I got few, and I've been dealing with them in Lagos Island. So I think it's what makes it just different is when you're ready to you see beyond the money you're charging. You try to add value to the customer, and when the customer realizes that, okay, this business is not just profit is about, okay, solving the problem the customer is facing. When a customer comes in and says, okay, I'm getting married, I need the suit and all that. Okay, as is for us to advise, okay, what kind of style do you want? By the time you try to make a conversation, try to understand, try to paint a picture, the client is a little bit relaxed, knowing that, okay, look, I think I'm in the right place to solve my problem. And I keep telling my workers that, okay, if people don't come, we're not in business. So if they come, that means they need your help regarding clothes. So we try to make sure we solve that. Then it's easier to collect money from clients.